Hello again, Sandwich. I'm Greg Anderson, and welcome in to Meet the Candidates. On May 8th, you will choose from, if you vote, you will choose from 3 people running for one open seat on the Sandwich School Committee. The incumbent is a parent, an advocate, and a very familiar face in our schools. Danielle Binienda says experience matters, especially now. So let's talk about school budget, school safety, student programs, and her vision for the next 3 years. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know, it's so funny. We live in this community together, and I never see you outside of this studio.
I know.
So it's like,
I'm everywhere. I don't know.
I know you are. It's me.
Market Basket. Maybe sometime in Market Basket.
All right. Over in the deli section and excellent. Well, welcome back. It has been 3 years. So a lot has happened, and we're going to catch up on that. Let me jump right in. You have 2 students, two children as students in the Sandwich schools, Abby and JT. One of them is receiving special education, and you say that in your materials that you sent me, you said that you really understand the challenges of those parents who have children with special differences. Can you explain what those challenges are from your experience?
Sure. Like you said, I have 2 children, JT, who receives solely special education services, and Abby, who's in the general education classroom. So JT's 7th grade, Abby's 10th grade. And JT's received special ed services his entire life. He was born deaf, has cochlear implants now, which enables him to hear. So he's had those since he was 1 year old. And and later on, when he was about 4, we got an autism diagnosis. So my husband and I are a great team. We navigate whatever comes at us. We just handle it. And it goes back to when JT was an infant, and we had to travel to New York to NYU to get his cochlear implant surgery. We've always just tackled issues head on. So we went in when he got time to graduate from early intervention and get into the Sandwich schools. Jamie and I have always worked well with others and communicate well with others. So I feel like that, right from the get-go, when JT joined the Sandwich School District, we had a good, open relationship, good communication with the special education department. We were reasonable, but oftentimes you can run into challenges because your child learns differently. They face different obstacles, things that come easy for your neurotypical peers. It could take you 10 times to learn something if you have special needs. So it's always been our goal to keep the communication open, asking for rational, reasonable accommodations. And we've been so fortunate in the Sandwich schools that we've always had a great relationship. We've never really had to tackle anything that was too big for the school to handle or for us to ask for. So that's a big challenge for parents. But I can understand where parents can get frustrated, and but I really feel like the doors of communication should be open, and your child deserves, by law, they deserve the right to a fair and able education. You have 2 challengers in this race. Neither have been on the school committee before. You mentioned that there is a steep learning curve when you join the school committee. Can you expound on that a little bit more? Sure. Absolutely. When you're first elected to the school committee, there is through the Mass Association of School Committees, the MASC, there's a course that you have to take. It's called Charting the Course. And you learn about the format of a meeting. You learn about open meeting law, all the laws, the regulations that go along with it, which you're required to do. And as well as an ethics training with the town. So there is a learning curve, definitely. Learning just how a meeting flows. Like, when can you speak?
Robert's Rules of Order.
Robert's Rules of Order, yes.
What about the intangible? You're a public figure now. People know how to reach you. You're a parent in the schools. other parents might not agree with what they're seeing and hearing
Yeah.
of you. How has that been for you over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to tackle any tough conversation. I'm always willing and I will do my best. I always listen to constituents in the district, and any concerns or emails or phone calls that I get, I try to direct them in the right avenue.
Yeah.
No matter what, if I agree with what they're asking for or not, but it's the parents' right to find their way to get the correct answers that they want. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the budget. The FY26 budget requests a 3.36% increase.
Mm-hmm.
How would you explain to taxpayers why that's justified?
Actually, it was 2.7 is what we asked, but since we're a minimum aid district, the town, meaning we don't receive a lot of state aid because of our home values and our income values. So we are a minimum aid district. So actually 3.36 is on the lower end. It's reasonable. If we look at some of our neighboring districts on the Cape, some of the school districts are asking for a 10% increase in their budget. Yeah, and that's why I'm going to circle back to Dr. Maruszczak's predecessor, Dr. Gould and Dr. Maruszczak. They allocated the ESSER funding, that was the COVID relief money, they allocated it the right way. They didn't staff positions with that ESSER funding, knowing that it was going to dry up and go away someday.
Yeah.
So I think we need to take a little victory lap to Dr. Gould, Dr. Maruszczak. You did things the right way. You used that money, what it was allocated for. So now we're not running into an issue of asking the taxpayers for a 10% increase.
What about federal funding and the whole discussion from the Trump administration as it relates to, cutting off funding and dismantling of the education, all of that? Does that give you any concern?
Absolutely.
How so?
As a mom of a special needs child,
Yeah.
That's a big concern for me. So it's kind of, like I said before, it's kind of a wait and see approach. Let's see what's going to happen. There's been some lawsuits. The Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, has filed a suit against the Trump administration. DESE, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, responded to a letter to the Department of Education, and that Massachusetts will always celebrate diversity. And Massachusetts, that's why we're #1 in the nation in education. We have some of the best schools in the country, is because we offer those programs.
And you're talking about DEI, and you were pretty instrumental when you first came on, if I recall correctly, in helping set some of that up. Is that correct?
Yeah. To get the proper DEI in the schools, we found it wasn't a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
Every school's different. We have, elementary age, K-2, 3-6, in the high school. So things are going to look different in each school. And the school committee did a really good job of forming subcommittees, and I wasn't on that committee. I don't think I had enough hours in the day with all the other committees that I've been a part of. And but they've done a really nice job of identifying the needs in each school and then come together and report it to the school committee. So I want to give them a round of applause as well, that subcommittee, for doing the hard work.
And DEA is, DEA, well, maybe DEA, I don't know. But DEI is certainly under threat.
It's under
right
threat,
now.
yes.
Pick an industry, pick a company,
Absolutely.
whatever.
Like I said, it's kind of a wait and see. We've got to see what comes down the pike. But the Attorney General has already filed a lawsuit. I think there was 26 other states, I think, maybe that have filed lawsuits as well. So we'll see. Sometimes things are said and then they're taken back. So it's kind of a wait and see. But as a parent, I know, as a parent of a child with special needs, it's definitely unsettling.
Yeah. Let's talk about, in your material that you sent me, you had said that the school committee during your 3 years has right-sized staffing to match enrollment. We have a couple people that are running for the select board, and they're saying the enrollment is down and this is a problem. But it's stabilized.
It's definitely, even going into next year, it's stabilized, and we might actually have an addition.
Yeah.
So we're moving in the right direction, but with the budget, we are definitely right-sizing the budget to make sure that staffing is equivalent to student enrollment.
So give me an example of some of the things that you were focused on in that right-sizing exercise, if you will.
Well, we would kind of analyze. Dr. Marushak was good. He would give us updates about how many retirements are coming in, and do we need to fill that position? With attrition, you don't always need to fill the spots. You can maneuver things around.
Okay. You have. We're going to talk a little bit about negotiations for teachers, and of course we're talking about budgets. But when we talk about some of those hard decisions, you are on the front lines. You're up there, and you are a yay or a nay, and your voice matters. Can you give me an example? Take us somewhere in the last 3 years where you were challenged by a decision that you needed to make, or something that really brought conflict in your mind that you struggled with.
Struggled with. I would say, you know what it was last spring. It was challenging, and it affected all of us on the school committee, where there was a bullying incident and at the middle high school, and that hit close to home. That was tough. It affected all of us on that committee. And
why did it hit close to home to you?
Well, the child that was bullied has autism, and that very well could be my son at any time or place. But it just, I know that family well. It hit close to home. It was very emotional. It was emotional for all of us. I think it was after the meeting, everyone was silent, and because they knew it was weighing, like, this isn't right. So just ensuring that we're doing all that we can to instill that there are anti-bullying, anti-harassment policies, procedures, and that's something that that it's a work in progress. We've started. Every student athlete at the middle high school, you have to take a course about bullying, harassment, anti-bias. You're required to do that, or you can't play.
Yeah.
So just little things. And I've made some recommendations, like at Bridgewater State, they offer this course, this institute. It's called the MARC, Massachusetts Aggression Reduction Center. And they offer free trainings, free professional developments, trainings for coaches, for students. So that's something that Dr. Marushak has looked into as well.
Yeah.
But that, just ensuring that we keep our eye on the ball with that this doesn't go away.
How do you think we're doing? Give it a grade. Sandwich School District, the focus on mitigating bullying. How do give the district a grade?
It's definitely better. Yeah. I would say a B+. Yeah,
Okay.
but there's always work to be done. It's never perfect.
Yeah.
Every situation's different. But yeah, I feel like we're making forward progress. We're moving in the right direction. We just have to keep going.
So you still have work to do.
There's still a lot of work to do. Those 3 years flew by.
Yeah.
They really did.
How do you we see you on up on the dais, and you guys are all individuals. You all ran for your seats. How do you guys work as a group?
We work really well together. It's a diverse group, for sure. Many different points of views, but everyone's respectful of each other. Everyone respects each other's point of view and their opinions. Everyone has their say, whether you agree with it or not. It's fine civil discourse. I wish that we're kind of a model, I would say, as a group right now. I'm sad to see Christine Brown moving to Newport. She was such a huge asset to the school committee.
Yeah. So who don't you like on the school committee? You don't have to
I
answer
like
that.
them all.
Well, okay, all right, that
I
sounds
really and
good.
truly do. I do.
Let's talk about the career pathways
exciting.
programs. Tell me about how that is going to or will help keep students in the sandwich schools.
Yeah, it will. It's a great great program that Dr. Dave Quinn, applied for this grant money, and he's had experience with it in a previous district, and it just offers kids alternatives to courses that to possible careers down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're offering biomedical science, business. It's wonderful. Yeah.
What's the participation like?
Next year,
Yeah. So it
won.
starts next year?
Well, there's one this year, and
Okay.
so far the participation has been astounding. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Next year it's even better because they're also going to implement business as
Okay.
well, business, biomedical science, and I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes,
That's all right.
yeah.
But it is, and in my discussions every month with Dr. Joe,
Right,
and
right.
we've talked about this, that connectedness of students where you can otherwise just be kind of staying in the classroom, but there's other things. I mean, that we're sitting in a
Yes.
TV studio
And the
right
opportunity
now.
for internships
Yeah.
as the years progress. I mean, that can open so many doors for kids.
Yeah.
Or opening up opportunities for kids that might not have known about this and
Yeah.
then may have been thinking of a different career path, but then got into business and loved it. So,
Well, when you look at, I have two children. My son is 26, my daughter is 22, and they're at that age where, and much like other kids younger than them, where they're living on the phone. Everything is immediate
Yeah,
gratification.
right.
Everything is right now, and for those of us who have been in the work world, or we have had bosses and
Mm-hmm.
we have to show up and perform. There's how are these kids going to do? How are they going to keep up? How are they going to be held accountable without saying, forget it, I'm out of here? The Career Pathways program, in my opinion, exposes to kids
yes.
to be around others who do have to work under a different set of rules
Yeah, yep.
in order to be successful in
Yes,
their
yeah,
job.
yeah.
So just my opinion.
That's a great, it's a great point. Absolutely.
Performing arts. These kids are
Wow.
talented.
Talented, yes.
Like
Yes.
nuts.
Yes.
How are you in your next 3 years, if you win, how are you going to help support performing arts in the schools? What can be done better?
Wow. I mean, they set the bar high, the
Yeah.
Bassetts. They really do. To be honest, they are winning national titles. I feel like I open an email every other month and it's like, oh, we've been offered a fine arts scholarship for these students or a national
Yeah.
award for this. They have things under control. We'll be there to support whatever they may need. They get a lot of donations. They get a lot of public support. So I'll continue to follow that path that they're following because they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Another group of talented students is in the athletic realm.
Absolutely.
Last year we hit some stumbles with the bullying incident, and that derailed the
Yeah.
team from continuing on. But that aside, athletics are really big in town. You were saying in your information that you sent to me, 40%.
40% each season.
Is that
Absolutely.
high for a school district
For
of this size?
yeah, for a school district this size,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What do you
Very
attribute
high.
that to?
The school culture. Sandwich is great about starting off young in the recreation department, in the feeder organizations, the Sandwich Youth Basketball. I mean, it's starting players in kindergarten, first grade. So
Yeah.
we have a really strong community program, which I think is a great feeder for the high school. that we bring in a lot of talent. Kids, it's wonderful to go to the wing school on a Saturday and watch all of the sandwich rec soccer games.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
That we used to do, but it's wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity. And Sandwich, we do have a lot of great youth organizations. We do have kids that play club sports as well.
Right.
But yeah, I credit it a lot to starting them off young.
Yeah.
And for a small school, we're pretty talented.
Yeah.
And next year we're moving back to the Cape and Islands League.
Oh, good.
We've been in the South Shore League the last 2 years. So I think Barnstable's coming out, and so there was an opening, so Sandwich is coming back in.
Oh, I didn't know that's how it works.
Yeah. One school has to leave. There's only a certain amount to keep everything even.
Yeah.
And so they're leaving. I can't remember which league they're going to, but I'm excited to be back in the Cape and Islands League. At the time, we thought, okay, the competition will be better in the South Shore League. I voted for it. But now having a daughter who's a sophomore and has been at the high school since 7th grade, the last 2 years, it's been tough going from work in Hyannis to try to get to Rockland or Hull for a soccer game.
Good Lord, Danielle, that's over the bridge. What do we do? It's over the bridge.
I'm excited to be back in the Cape and Islands League. The kids like it. The kids like to play against their peers that they may know from other clubs or to go over to the Vineyard for a game or Nantucket. I mean, that's a thrill for a
I did
child.
stay in the one of the Vineyard hotels. My wife and I went for a weekend, and that hotel was packed with kids. Like, I've never seen more children, high school kids, in one space than that.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk a little bit about school safety. Joe and I talk about it often. You have some, old buildings, and nothing is state of the art, truly. But you've been part of the helping grow the district safety team. What can you give me a couple of accomplishments that you guys have taken? What are you most proud of?
I'm proud of how much it's grown in the last 2 years since Dr. Maruszczak has been here. The district safety team meets monthly, and it's consisted of the school administrators, public safety, town officials, some teachers, and staff. It's grown so much, and just having the collaboration and the communication with the public safety officials, it's been wonderful. They've performed reunification drills within the schools. They've performed professional development, all sorts of trainings. And the reunification drills in all 3 schools, that's when you have to actually physically bus the child from the school to a meeting location, like Corpus Christi is one of the meeting locations. And they've done it successfully, and we're only one of the few districts on the Cape that's done that.
Oh, so interesting.
And they've identified, we've had a district safety threat assessment done a couple years ago, and that identified any security vulnerabilities in the district and what we can do to improve upon them. So
there was a district threat assessment that was recently done.
District safety threat assessment.
Safety threat. There are clearly vulnerabilities.
Absolutely, and we can't talk about them, but they're identified. And one thing, for instance, into the budget this year, there's $450,000 from the town going into that we'll vote on at town meeting. That $450,000 was to upgrade all of the security cameras, external security cameras at all 3 schools, and then they've begun replacing door locks at Forestdale, and the other half of the money will go to the high school, to the interior door locks, to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah. Are you concerned at all about safety in the schools?
I mean, as a parent, and when you turn on the TV and you see that there's threats around the country, absolutely. But I know that we have a strong plan in place. We have really great collaboration with the public safety officials in town. I mean, it's such a good relationship that I'm not as threatened as I think I would be if I lived somewhere else. I wouldn't feel as threatened.
Those those times where we watch on TV and we see these horrific situations that happen, and they seem to be happening a lot more. It makes you think about our own children.
Absolutely.
And what if that were to happen here? You have a role on the school committee, but you're also a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, when you do see these situations that happen elsewhere in the country, does it make you, I don't know, do things different as it relates to your involvement with the safety?
Well, I definitely ask different questions for
Yeah.
sure, knowing what plans they have in place. But just the fact that we have plans and we have trainings that have been happening, I would hope that it wouldn't be total chaos. And I feel like we have a really good district team in place, and yeah, I feel strongly about it.
You said that the culture within the schools has improved over the last 3 years. What has changed, and what do you attribute that to?
Well, it helps the culture within people showing up at events at the schools. A football game on a Friday night. Years ago when my kids were little, we would go once in a while, but now I feel like that's the thing to do on Friday nights. Kids have pride in their town, in their community. There's more people showing up at events. There's a lot to offer in this town. So the fine arts, between the performing arts, I feel like it's instilled a lot of pride in our community.
Culture as a community is one thing. What about the culture within the school district? Employees, teachers, administration?
Absolutely. Well, I think the culture has improved within the administration. I was part of the negotiations team subcommittee, and we negotiated 2 out of the 3 years on my term. So we met probably 16 plus times over 2 years. It was a lot. But we all came to the table knowing that, hey, we value our teachers. We value the staff. We want them to be paid a competitive salary. And it was a gratifying experience being on that negotiation subcommittee. It was great. We learned a lot. And we worked really well together. And I think that, showing your teachers and your staff and your administration that, hey, we value all of the important work you do, I think that in itself has improved the culture.
Yeah. How do you lessen the burden of teachers needing to financially front a lot of what they feel needs to be in the classrooms? What's Danielle's take on that? Because we all know teachers, families, and they're like, I'm always buying markers, and I know. How do you speak to that?
Well, there are a lot of avenues out there that maybe we could do a better job at with grant money, et cetera, that Dave Quinn, Dr. Quinn, our assistant superintendent, is wonderful at finding grants. Yeah. So if there's something that a teacher needs, I would hope that they would know to ask and see. We've started the student school committee student advisory board, and that's been great too. And the kids come to our meetings. We do a meeting. We try to do once a month before our general meeting, and have pizza and whatnot. And listen to the students too. Like, hey, we really could use paper towels. And all of us were like, our hands were up. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You don't have paper towels? Yeah. And we can, as long as if we hear about it, maybe we can find ways to help. So we got those. They had the drying machines installed in the bathrooms, and the kids are like, it's awful. And so we made sure
they are gross.
They are
it
gross.
Blows stuff everywhere.
Yes. So we made sure, just hearing what people's needs are. Absolutely.
When you talk about the negotiations, and I'm going to wrap up in a second, but when you've been a part of the teacher negotiations, obviously, how are we doing as it relates to the pay that sandwich teachers are making? How do we compare to other school districts?
So what we did is, we did some analysis of different communities and kind of see where did Sandwich fall. And quite honestly, before we did this last round of negotiations, we were kind of the bottom of the barrel. So we knew we needed to have to bump the teachers up. Different incentives, you know, there's some more money allocated to continuing education. So if a teacher wants to take a course, there's a pot of money that you can apply for and see if you can get. There's a couple, you know, there's some other benefits that have been added to it. So I hope that, I feel that we have moved up on the chart quite a bit.
Let's wrap up, but I want to ask you one last question. If I show up and I'm looking at the ballot and I see Danielle Binienda on here, why am I circling your name and not your other two? Tell me why.
Well, they can circle too, but there's 2 seats open. I've got the experience. I've got 3 years under my belt, and I've enjoyed it. That's why I'm running again. Because we've made a lot of progress, but there's still important work to be done. I want to see our facilities transform. I want to see, you know, our student enrollment increase. I want kids to continue to have pride in the culture and the community. I'm empathetic. I answer everybody's email or phone call. I'll do whatever I can to help every person in this district.
Do you get a lot of phone calls at home?
I get some phone calls. Yeah, I get some phone calls. I get emails. Yeah. Or I run into people and face to face.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Though not me.
I know.
How does
I know.
that?
Your kids are older as well too, but yeah.
I know. Danielle, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate it. So yeah, you've got 2 people out of 3 to circle that little name with that black felt tip pen. Thursday, May 8th is your chance, your time to vote. I'm Greg Anderson, and I'll see you soon.